collectively in the world, there's always enough food.
We got almost 24 million acres of canola that's getting planted here this year in Saskatchewan.
We got about 40 days of food for each bushel. Well, I suppose some people are passionate about this and they maybe don't like the idea of turning food into fuel. But if you look at it, there's really collectively in the world, there's always enough food. It just happens to be that, it isn't necessarily where it needs to be. But there's no, if there's a concern about turning food into fuel and making food unaffordable, um, here's what I looked at. When you and I talked about this, Dan, I looked at it and I said, how many calories are there in a bushel of wheat? And how many calories are there in a bushel of canola? And how many calories are there in a bushel of lentils? And what does somebody need? They need 2,500 calories a day on average. There's about 100,000 calories in a bushel of canola or uh, wheat or lentils. And so basically, you convert that into days of food. We got about 40 days of food for each bushel. Not that you're going to just eat a bushel of canola, but to simplify it, and so what does that work out to at $16 a bushel or for lentils or canola? It's, I don't know, 40 cents a day, right? Like, so your actual cost of food for the raw product that the farmers are producing is minuscule. There's no affordability issues with food regarding the portion that the farmers get. So I don't know if we want to turn it into fuel, if we think it's good for the environment, if we think it's good for energy security, then let's go ahead and do it. There's no ethical issues and there's no affordability issues.
I wanted to get Quick Dick's McDick's take. I've never had somebody on the show with such a name, yeah. But I'll go to Quick Dick on how he looks at this too. But I'm wondering, do you have the equivalent units of output for energy? That I love that with the calories. I've never heard that before. That's really interesting. So, do you know the energy output equivalent of a bushel of canola in kilojoules or any other metric, or Shaun?
Oh, sorry. Do I know the energy output of a bushel of canola?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 100,000 calories. Like you couldn't digest the meal, but you're going to get 40% oil. The oil has twice the energy density of versus carbohydrates, right? Fat versus carbohydrates. So you got nine calories per gram of fat, which is canola oil, or you have 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate or protein, and it works out to roughly the same. According to my research last night, the digestible energy or the energy is about 100,000 calories per bushel.
But
Whether
in
it's
like Blue Ball's tank, like in a diesel or a jet, what's the horsepower output, or how do you can you quantify
that is
that too?
something I can't tell you.
Okay,
I'm not that savvy on things like that.
Quick Dick, over to you. What's the energy output on a bushel of
Kilowatt
canola?
hour, I don't have those kilowatt hour numbers off the top of my head, but I think it's a really cool take on what Shaun's talking about, putting it into a calorie perspective kind of thing, because it's a great way to look at it. I think really that maybe even touches on the surface of the narrative that exists out there right now of seed oils being something unhealthy to eat, depending on what channels you subscribe to and who you watch on social media. But um, I think that for the amount of canola acres that we have specifically here in Saskatchewan, I mean, we got, almost 24 million acres of canola that's getting planted here this year in Saskatchewan. And I think we have more capacity than we would ever need to service any markets that we need for people that would actually need, be it canola as a food stock or canola as a fuel stock. I mean, we've got more than enough to service a lot of it from here in Saskatchewan. So I think it's great to be playing both sides of the market, because we'll produce more canola seed in Saskatchewan alone than I think anyone would ever eat throughout the course of a year. So we should do something else with the rest of it. And if we can put it into low carbon fuel, into a fuel market, I mean, it's called diversification. And whether we like it or not, farming's a business. It's a way of life for a lot of people, but I mean, it's a business, and it's really important to be able to service both markets as far as I'm concerned.